So take your time. And once you feel that you are in a settled position, maybe just have a little scan of the body. So you might go from head to toe or toe to head. And you're just kind of checking for any distractions, any tension. Might even be something like your clothes are not quite right. You know, sometimes clothes get a little bit twisted or tight in places. Might be that your hair is tickling you in a certain place. So we're just kind of seeking out anything that could be an annoyance or a distraction. And then we'll use this time just to release ourselves from that so that we can feel truly settled to the best of our ability. Perhaps the eyes are closed, or an invitation, definitely a little bit of encouragement to close the eyes as we start that journey inwards. And a big part of our practice is, of course, movement. That's probably the more well-known part of yoga, the asana. But there's also a big part of our practice about our mind. So to begin with, just bring awareness to your mind with kindness, with curiosity, not with judgment or with any negativity. And just see what is there. So of course this will be different for everyone. Some people find spaciousness of mind more easily than others. Some people have really busy full minds. Our thoughts will be different. What's there? And then if we worked on the premise that the mind doesn't always tell the truth, or our thoughts aren't always reality or based in truth, is there anything in the mind that isn't truthful, or you can't really be sure it's true? If there is, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and as you breathe out through nose or mouth, let that go. And then, still with any thoughts in the mind, if there are any, perhaps asking the question, are any of them relevant to the next 45 minutes of your yoga practice, based on being present, enjoying yourself? If you feel like there are some irrelevant thoughts there, some thoughts that you just don't need for the next 45 minutes, you might pick them up on the way out, you might not. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just imagine that you let them go. So it can be a nice practice on and off the mat to kind of establish what's useful, what's truthful. And if the mind is still quite busy, we might have a word or an affirmation, a statement that we come back to when we notice that the branches of the mind are growing and becoming a little bit overwhelming. I'm grounded, I'm peaceful, I'm balanced, I'm here, I'm present. It could be anything. Let's take awareness to the breath, maybe by bringing the hands just onto the low belly. And as we breathe in deeply through nose, if we can, we feel that the belly expands, lifts and widens. As we breathe out, there's a sense of contraction, of drawing inwards, downwards. Just be with your next few breaths. If the mind kicks in with something else, come back to the breath. Inhale, being present. And then to the body. So we've already gone through a little bit of a body scan, just taking awareness back to physical body. Sometimes it's the thing that we really have the most connection with, and that's fine. Feeling the weight of the body on the earth, being mindful of any niggles, injuries, any sensitivities now and as we move through the practice. And starting to then bring a little bit of movement into the body, the face, the fingers, the toes. So it might start slowly, almost reluctantly, and then see if you can expand the movement a little bit wider. So perhaps it goes into a full body stretch. Taking a couple of breaths, reaching the arms overhead and pointing the toes away. Then perhaps bringing the knees in towards you. You could catch hold of knees, shins, thighs, clothes. Give them a little squeeze into the body. And it can often feel quite nice to have a little rock from side to side, just to start to loosen into the spine. Let's pop the soles of the feet down onto the ground. Step them about hip distance apart. Bringing the heels in towards your seat. You don't have to be able to touch them. We're going to keep the feet on the earth, the arms down by the side of the body. Push down through the feet as you breathe in. Start to roll the spine up and away from the earth into bridge. As you breathe out, slowly release it back down. And just take 4 more like that with your own breath, to your own boundary. So we're still warming up. It might be that it's just a little lift and squeeze. You might feel that you've got a little bit more energy. So especially as we move through autumn, winter, we're quite conscious of our energy levels. They can dip a little bit. And after that set, but no rush, if anything, we're just here to slow the world down a little bit. The spine comes back down onto the ground. The feet step wider and the knees knock inward. So you might take the arms out a little bit wider, turn the palms up towards the sky, up to you. And we're going to move the knees with the breath. So with as little effort and readjustment as we can, we inhale with them at center. As we exhale, just let the knees drop to the right without adjusting your feet too much. Nice. Breathe in, we bring the knees back to center. Breathe out, we go to left. So just continue nice and slowly like that. And if it feels okay for you, you might turn your gaze in the opposite direction to the knees. So we're always mindful of the neck, of course. If that doesn't feel right, then that's okay. And see if we can make it as smooth a movement with the breath and the turning of the knees and the head as possible. I'm just going to take a few more. At any point, you could stop if you feel it's not working for you or you're a little bit tired. And next time the knees are back to center, we're going to leave them there. We'll keep the left foot in the earth. We'll bring the right knee in towards the chest. Interlace the fingers over the shin, the knee, or behind the thigh. We're going to draw that right knee out a little bit to the side and then in as if we're trying to tuck it towards the armpit. Flex the right foot. So flexing is spreading the toes, turning the toes back towards your calf. Nice. You could keep the left foot on the earth, or you might breathe in, and as you breathe out, extend it away and equally flex that foot. So heel could be to the earth, or heel could be slightly lifted if you want a little bit more energy in that. Try and just relax into the face and the shoulders. I'm going to take a couple more breaths here. It's like we're drawing in and pushing away with the same effort. Breathing in through nose, out through nose, or a gap in the lips. Let's take one more breath. Release feet to the earth. We're going to come back into our bridge position with the option to bring the arms into it. So we push down through the feet, we lift the spine, maybe we sweep the fingertips up to the sky, or all the way back behind us if the shoulders allow. As we exhale, everything comes back down to the ground, the spine, the palms of the hands by the side of the body. Take 4 more. Again, just work with your own pace. Trying to keep the toes, the heels pushed to the earth. If you get tired, then simply rest for a breath or two. So really quite an expansive movement. After that set, just releasing the spine and the hands to the earth. No rush, take your time. Keep that right foot to the earth this time. As we inhale, we'll bring the left knee in. Catch hold of what works. Maybe take a different interlace of the fingers. So you could cross opposite thumbs or take the fingers down slightly. So we want to work against habit a little bit. Draw that left knee out, back in towards the body. Flex the foot. Feel that start to activate. Keep the right foot down or breathe in. And as you breathe out, extend it away. Flex the foot. You might have the heel to the earth, or you might have the heel lifted, softening the face, unclenching the teeth, softening the shoulders. We breathe here. Our exhale breaths just allow us to slightly soften into any shape. I'm going to take 1 more breath. Release the feet to the earth. And there's 2 options here in order to come to a seated position. If you feel like you've got the energy to, you've got no neck or lower back problems, you might draw the knees to the chest, hold the backs of the thighs, and take 2 or 3 rolls up and down the spine. Otherwise, you might roll to the side of the body, right side, and just push yourself up. So arrive in a position that works for you. It could be legs crossed, it could be more of a butterfly position or legs extended, somewhere where the spine can be nice and tall. As we breathe in, we're going to sweep the hands up to the sky, drawing the palms, lift the gaze. Breathe out, come to the heart space, and just drop the gaze. So working through the neck as well. 4 more like that. Just work with your own breath. You could absolutely close the eyes if you prefer. Just really kind of get into feeling into the body and breath. Doesn't matter what it looks like or what anyone else looks like for that matter. No rush after that last one. Take the gaze forwards, but have the hands resting at the heart space. Nice, tall spine, soft shoulders. We breathe in, take the fingertips up to the sky. Breathe out, turn to your right. Sweep the arms wide, first of all, then plant that right hand down behind you, left hand where it feels comfy. So rather than lean into the back hand, we prop and lift into it as we breathe in, crown of the head towards the sky. As we breathe out, maybe it's just a gentle adjustment of the right shoulder. And the gaze could be over the shoulder rather than turning the entire neck. Soften into the jaw, the belly, the knees, seated twist. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. One more breath. Let's inhale, turn to center, join the hands at the heart. Exhale, opposite side. So one side might feel more spacious and open. Left hand comes behind, it props and lifts you as you breathe in. As you breathe out, gently rolling that left shoulder. Just be mindful of head and neck. As we exhale, just soften into any corners, any areas that we feel we're tensing and holding. Take a breath in the twist. As you breathe out, turn to center. I'm going to switch the cross of the legs as long as it feels okay. If it feels very uncomfortable, then don't. Nice deep breath in, sweep the hands up, turn the palms towards me, keep the bum on the ground. As you breathe out, start to fold forward. So we reach as far as we feel we can. Then we come up onto the fingertips as we breathe in, just lift and find a little bit of space. Breathe out, let the palms relax, tuck the chin towards the chest, elbows soften, spine, head, neck. So don't worry about how far down or forward you can fold. Each breath out, just see if you can allow a little bit more surrender. And you could absolutely stay where you are, or you might start to walk the hands over to the right side of your body. So that gives us a forward fold and a little bit of a lateral stretch, a side stretch. Left hand might come on top of right hand, it might not. Just feel into the lower and side back. So we don't really want any pulling or the feel of straining. We'll sweep back to center. And maybe we come over to the other side, right hand on left, and take a breath there. Come all the way back to center. Slowly as you can, unroll through the spine. Let the head come up. Bring the shoulders to the ears and roll them backwards a couple of times. Then forwards a couple of times. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So you can roll over your knees or you could take the feet to the side. You can always use a blanket underneath the knees or underneath the hands if you need some support. So we'll go for shoulders over wrists, hips over knees-ish. So stacking joints just gives us that nice little bit of strength. And we're just going to start to take the hips from side to side. So nothing fancy. Just getting into that back body. If it feels right, you might start to gently take the gaze over the shoulder in the opposite direction that you're taking the hips. So thinking about when we're on the back of the body and we're moving with the knees, can we make this a nice smooth movement with the breath? And sometimes the answer will be no, like sometimes the body will feel quite clunky and there'll be stagnation or areas that feel a bit stuck. And that's what our practice helps with. Let's come back to center. As we breathe in, we let the belly drop. The heart shines forward slightly, the chin lifts. Push into the earth as you breathe out. Arch the spine to the sky, look to the heart. Take 4 more just in your own way, in your own breath. Cat and cow. Absolutely no rush. After that final one, feel as if you're drawing the belly button up into the low spine a little bit. So you've got a nice bit of strength through the abs and the lower back. We're going to tuck the toes, push the seat back to the heels. Hands stay where they are. We've already found the foundation of the hands. As we inhale, we're shifting the weight forwards, keeping the abdominals nice and strong. Shoulders just come over the wrist slightly. As we exhale, we push the seat to the heels. One more like that. Breathe in, come forwards. Breathing out, seat to heels. From here, again, hands stay where they are. Nice deep breath in prepares you. As you breathe out, the knees lift, the bum goes back and up towards the sky. So find your downward facing dog. You might have your feet hip distance. If you feel like the hamstrings are quite tight, go wider with the feet. And a really nice kind of diagonal line from wrists into the shoulders. So that'll help us not getting too much pain in the wrist from hanging out over them. Have a little stretch through the legs if you need it. Keep the head nice and heavy. Just going to take one more deep breath here. Come down onto the knees. Find yourself in tabletop. Well done. Let's again keep the hands where they are. We're going to start to walk the knees backwards. And we want the hands to be about shoulder width apart. So a good measure is if we were to touch opposite elbows. So bum comes nice and high. We're going to drop down onto the elbows, keeping the arms shoulder width. It might be that you just gaze to the earth here. So you've still got a nice little back bend going on. Might be that you slide the hands towards me. Start to bring the forehead and the chest towards the earth. So we keep the bum nice and high, keeping the hips and the knees roughly in line. If it's very intense into the armpits, then I would suggest you kind of cross the arms, catch hold of opposite forearms. We're not going to be here for too long. A really good shape for getting right into the front and back body. Also working through the upper body respiratory system, into the heart space. One more deep breath. Start to shift the gaze forwards. Walking your way slowly out of this. We're going to come into a little bit of a counter pose, taking the knees wider, turning the big toes to touch. Bring your seat all the way back into your heels. Just have a little wiggle there. So get it nice and low. Keep it as low as you can. Reach the fingertips forwards. You can always pop something underneath the forehead, whether that's for comfort or whether it keeps your bum nice and low. Child's pose. Take a really nice deep breath in. Breathe it out. Just letting the face soften, the shoulders, the fingertips. And then back body-wise, just letting ourselves sink down. In the moments of stillness and less activity, if the mind trails back to its thoughts and all those branches, perhaps we ask ourselves what is useful, what is truthful. Maybe there's a focus word or statement. And you're welcome to stay here if you feel that this is just supportive, nurturing for you, or slowly start to lift your way up, come back into tabletop. And we'll take the right toes back behind us. We'll just tiptoe the earth, extend through that hamstring. And nice and slowly, we're going to take that right knee wide and step it forward. So we could take several steps if we needed to. We'll have the hands inside that right foot. As we breathe in, you could use blocks or you could use hands. You're just going to bring the body forwards ever so slightly. And as we breathe out, we might tuck the back toes, lift the front toes. So these are all maybes. Inhale, we're coming forward. So it's okay for the knee to go ahead of the toes or the ankle. Exhale, we're coming back. So kind of a bit of preparation for a half split position. One more time. Next time we come forwards, we could stay with fingertips towards the ground. We might decide to lift up and rest the hands on the thigh. We might come to the heart space. We might breathe in and take the fingertips to the sky and just soften into the shoulders. So you choose what works best for you. If you feel like you're quite well balanced, you could close the eyes or just soften the gaze to the earth. Nice. Take a breath in where you are and out to bring the hands down. Let's sweep that right foot back. Extend it away, keep toes to the earth and reach the left fingertips towards me. So it's like we're shaking hands. Gaze is down but slightly ahead. Stay here, or you could lift the right toes away from the earth. Push the heel away as much as you're reaching the left fingertips forwards. So we find that balance in middle body. One more breath, wherever you are. As we exhale, we bring the hand to the earth. We bring the knee to the earth. And we're going to go for the other side. Taking the left toes back behind us, a little stretch. Sweeping wide, stepping forwards. Hands inside that left foot. As we breathe in, we start to shift the weight forwards. As we breathe out, we take it back. Two more like that, just in your own time. And no rush after that last one. Front knee over heel or ankle. Keep the fingertips to the earth. Come up onto the thigh. Lift the heart. Maybe hands to heart. Maybe fingertips to sky. If you know another way of this, absolutely go for it. So we could be gazing forwards or slightly up. If you feel steady, you could close the eyes. So you might feel it's a little bit more wobbly with closed eyes. Nice deep breath in wherever you are. Breathe out, bring the hands down to the ground. Let's sweep that left leg back, tiptoe the earth. Press down through the left hand, and it could be shoulder over wrist, or it might be a little bit further back. We'll take the right fingertips forward, bicep by ear, like we're shaking hands. Fix your gaze, maybe lift the left toes, maybe not. Either is fine. One more deep breath. Release the hand, release the knee. Tuck the toes, push the seat back to the heels. Breathe in as we breathe out. Downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in and out there. Soft knees, start to walk the hands and the feet towards each other. Keeping your feet hip distance will just help you balance a little bit. Push down through the feet, start to lift the gaze as you sweep the fingertips forwards. Nice deep breath in. Come all the way up. And then release the hands down. Let's roll the shoulders back. Turn the palms forwards. Maybe we close the eyes or softly gaze ahead. A nice deep breath in and out, mountain pose, Tadasana. Let the shoulders drop away from the ears. So the strength in Tadasana lies in lower body, the softness in the upper body. Let's gently blink the eyes open. Just step towards the top of your mat and fix your gaze on a point ahead. So this will help you with balance. We'll bring hands into hips or waist, soft shoulders. You're going to ground through that left foot. Keep the left hip nicely tucked in and up. Turn the right knee out, bring the right heel to the left inner ankle first of all. So we're trying to keep our hips forwards as best we can. Maybe we stay here, that is absolutely fine. This is our tree pose. Maybe you slide the toes in towards the left ankle just to lift the heel slightly higher. Maybe you lift or slide that right foot up the left leg. So it's absolutely fine to be on the knee, just not kind of too much pressure from the heel. Just find your steadiness, find a deep breath. And you could absolutely just work with lower body, or the hands might come to the heart, the hands might lift to the sky, completely up to you. A real kind of challenge in tree is to close the eyes, complete change of perspective. So you might just blink once slowly if you don't fancy closing the eyes. If we step out, we can step back in. I'm going to take one more breath. On your next exhale, let's place the foot down, bring the hands down if we need to have a little bit of a wiggle just to shake that off. And then we'll roll the shoulders back, take the gaze forwards, close the eyes. We're going to re-ground for 2 breaths in Tadasana before the other side. Let that side go. When you're ready, blink the eyes open and just slowly start to go step through the other side. So right hip stays in, foot is grounded, left knee turns out. Making mini adjustments just to test the boundaries. Keeping our gaze ahead, what we call a drishti point. Maybe we adjust the hands. Maybe we have a slow blink or close the eyes. So these are all maybes. You are completely in charge. Nice. And some days our balance is great, other days not so much. We'll take one more deep breath. As you exhale, release, and with that release, we just let go of the balance. I mean, if it's good, sometimes it's nice just to like, yeah, nailed that. But if it's bad, goodbye. I'm going to take a breath in, sweep the hands up, turn the palms to me. As we breathe out, bend the knees, fold to the earth. Inhale, slide the hands up onto the shins, just lengthen the arms, the legs, the spines. It's what we call halfway lift. As we exhale, we forward fold. As long as it feels okay for you, look to the heart or between the legs. You might take hold of opposite elbows or let the backs of the hands just dangle to the earth. And the upper body might just have a little bit of sway and a movement. So really nice to loosen through and expand through the spine. Also, spine is helping backs of legs. It's kind of a two-way relationship. Let's bring the fingertips down towards the ground. Step our right foot back, drop the knee to the earth. Step our left foot back, we're in tabletop. Cross the ankles behind you or drop the knees to the side, and we're going to roll onto our bums, extend the legs forwards. You could take the feet a little bit wider if you wish. You could be on heels if the backs of your legs are quite tight, or you could use your bolster. I'm going to breathe in. Lead with the heart as you start to breathe out. So it's kind of like I've just got holding you close. I'm just gently drawing you forwards. At the point where you feel like there's no more leading with the heart, you could pause. Or you could soften off round the spine, tuck the chin towards the chest. So the more you flex into your feet, the more your hamstrings will feel that. So again, you're in control. Just taking a couple of breaths, turning inwards. Doesn't matter how far down you think it can fold, not about that. Let the head be heavy. Little stretch out of the ligaments in the neck. And slowly start to unravel. Let's take the right arm over the head, look for the left ear with the fingertips, and just gently bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. So we're not pulling the hands, just a little bit of heaviness and direction. We slowly release that. Left hand comes up and over and draws us gently to the left. And you might feel a difference in either side. You might not. Let's slowly release that. Gather anything you might want for Shavasana. So if you want a blanket, if you want your bolster, have that close by. And then bend the knees, let the elbows lead you down slowly to the earth. Let the spine relax. Just take a breath there. And then you might decide, oh, I'm just ready for Shavasana. That's absolutely fine if you are. Otherwise, we're going to take a little twist. So similar to where we began, but we'll hold it for slightly longer rather than flowing with it. Feet to the earth. Press down through the feet. Just gently slide your bum to the left and then adjust your knees to the right. And you could take them higher, lower. You could cross the thighs. There's loads of different variations. This is just about, in a way, playing, being curious. I remember when I first started to practice, and I was much tighter physically than I am now. And then just, within like a couple of weeks and a couple of months, I started to just notice like, oh my gosh, my body could never do that before. That's pretty amazing. Patience, practice. Let's draw the knees back to center. Put the feet to the earth. Take a breath to reground. And then we'll slide the bum to the right. We'll let the knees drift to the left. Whatever feels right on this side. The heart stays nice and open. The shoulders soften to the earth. Can you start to soften into the face? Guide yourself back to center. Is there anything that feels right here? A stretch, a little roll around. Just take your time to explore that for a couple of breaths. And then slide yourself into Shavasana. What does that look and feel like? More importantly, what's it feel like? Is it the arms and the legs extended? Is it the knees bent? Is it rolling and snuggling on the side of the body rather than being on the back body? When you get there, we come in this full circle, like the seasons, like the cycle of life, yoga, cyclical. Just have that little scan, check for any distractions, discomforts. Make any final adjustments. Let the eyes soften or close. And let the exhale breath just guide you deeper into relaxation. Nothing else to do now. If the monologue of the mind just again starts to go, oh, stillness, silence, interesting, I can interrupt this. Is it truthful? Is it useful? Might you just tell your mind instead, I'm resting? So these all important minutes of rest, of integration, of letting everything settle and soften. Just enjoy it as best you can. Begin to deepen your breath. Just let go of anything you don't want to take out of the room and into the world. And then bringing some movement into fingers, toes, face. You might have a stretch or a wiggle. There might be very little movement. So again, see how you feel. And just be mindful of who is in your space and what is in your space. As you lull yourself over to right or left, stay close to the earth if you can. Just snuggle on the side of the body. And perhaps you keep the eyes closed, or you just have a really low gaze as you push the top arm and maybe the lower elbow into the earth. Rise upwards slowly. Come to sit nice and tall when you're there. Seat to the earth, head to the sky. And you might place the hands onto the heart space. You might join the palms in what we call a mudra, the hand gesture, seal of energy. And as you exhale, just gently drop the chin to the chest as if you're bowing to yourself, thanking yourself, body, breath, mind. We also bow to and thank each other for sharing our energy and our practice. And I bow to you. Thank you for joining me. The light and dark in me honors the light and dark within you. Namaste.